Okay, stick with me for just a second. Let's talk about two of the most practical cartridges I think you can own or hunt with in just about every scenario for just about everybody. Now for just a second, put aside the tactical fetish, the supreme long range, ultimate long range killing cartridge, the sniper fetish, all of those things. And let's just talk about the practical use of most rifles for most people in most scenarios. Two cartridges I think can actually fit that bill really, really nicely that you may have a tendency to overlook because of their kind of bland or simplistic nature. Let's get right into it. All right, thank you for joining me again in the shop and welcome back and happy Friday. Let's talk about these two cartridges I think could work really well for most people if you just kind of temper your expectations down and distill it down to the basics of what you really need in a rifle cartridge, whether it's for hunting or playing around, goofing off, varmint hunting, and just in general owning of a rifle and shooting it. Like, what can you go to the range with and have a good time shooting and become more proficient with, and what is really useful to you. So take all of the niche things out of the equation. All the super, Magnum cartridges, the ultimate long range sniper shots on elk at 3,000 yards and all that stuff, ELR, all that. Take it all out of the equation and let's distill it down to two things I think are overlooked or maybe taken for granted in the shooting community, and that is just simplicity and availability. Personally, as I'm going through my catalog of rifles and cartridges and things I've tried over the years, I almost always come back to one of these two calibers when it comes to just having a rifle in it and shooting it and just having fun, whether it's for hunting, whether it's for self-defense or long-range plinking even, or varmint shooting, or just target practice at the range for sharpening my skills and practicing my long-range pursuits, or practicing my shooting discipline, basically just really not even long range, but just as a marksman, as a rifleman, how do I stay proficient and what do I shoot to kind of keep that skill set sharp. Here it is. Here's the two that I think that most people can and should use and should have in their stable. They're the most practical rifle cartridges that we have today: the .308 Winchester and the 6.5 Creedmoor. Let's talk about why. Practicality to me has more to do with a cartridge's usefulness and availability and ease of use than it does with specific niche deployments of that cartridge. Like if I'm looking at a long range elk cartridge, something that I'm gonna use on heavy game, big stuff, big animals at longer distances, yeah, maybe one of these cartridges is not the best. Maybe both of them, neither one of them are the best. There are a lot of other niche cartridges out there that work really well for that. Your 300 Win Mags, 30-06, 270-ish, your 7mm like your 7 PRC, your 7 mag, and your 280 Ackley Improved like I have in front of me. And all those cartridges are wonderful and great, and they offer a lot of huge benefits when it comes to downrange effect on large game or larger targets, or important targets, let's put it that way, at long distances. But that's not practical for most people. Most hunting scenarios that I've encountered, or from people that I've talked to, or hunters that I know and people I grew up around and that kind of thing, most hunting encounters are within 300 meters, 300 yards-ish, in that type of range. So if you look at that, just practically, let's break it, let's draw it all back in. Most of your hunting scenarios are going to happen for most people inside about 300 yards. Let's say that's an average. And most game that most people are gonna take in hunting scenarios and situations across the US are gonna be medium game, medium, thin, or light-skinned game. They're not going to be big bruiser elk. Even if you are hunting elk and you've got like a doe, cow elk tag or something like that, you're not looking at a 1,500-pound cow. You're looking at a few hundred pounds of animal you have to get through, and they're a little thinner skinned than the big bull 8x8, gnarly, nasty booger that you're trying to get to back in the backwoods. Okay, so practically, you don't actually need to go with the most Magnum cartridge, the most knockdown power that you can possibly get, because at the end of the day, shot placement and bullet selection and confidence and accuracy and precision with your rifle and your setup matter more than anything else. If you put the right type of bullet in the right spot on an animal, regardless of its size, regardless of what type of animal it is, if it's a bullet construction that can handle the penetration that it needs to get through that animal and the skin and bone and tissue and all those good things, and disrupt the internal organs in such a way that the damage is permanent and non-survivable, it doesn't matter if it's a Magnum or not, and it doesn't matter if it's a 338 diameter or a 6mm diameter. Now, I'll use a personal anecdote here. This is a hunting story from last season. First day out in the hunt, 2.5 miles into the backwoods already, early in the morning, nice and bright and squirrely. Sun isn't even up yet. We've already made our way all the way in, and realized when we were getting out of the ATV that the ammo for the chosen cartridge, the 300 Win Short Mag, had been left back at camp. Talk about awkward. We were already, the first day of hunt, so we're already jazzed up. Everything's good to go. Well, the ammo got left behind for the rifle that the hunter was using in question. And hilariously, all we had was a 223, like a little varmint gun, a little varmint rifle that was kept in a boot for shooting, coyotes and that kind of thing. And it was available, and it had ammo, and it had a Federal Fusion box of ammo in the rig with it. So it was, it was a hunting load and a hunting setup for a rifle. We went about hunting that day with that rifle because it was too late to turn back. We went and got the other one after lunch. We went back to the camp and all that stuff and got, the proper ammo, the proper big game. But the intent was that morning, if we saw the elk that we were looking for, because we were actually on a pretty big one, we were going to shoot it with a 223. And pretty confident that that would work, especially inside the ranges that we were going to be in. So I use that story to illustrate the point that it's all a matter of perspective and practical use. When it comes down to it, if you can use the caliber you have to take the game, why wouldn't you? Now, why I've kind of narrowed in on the 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor for my two most practical cartridges that I'll always keep around, and I'll always keep a hunting rifle or a semi-automatic or those kind of things around, is because of their availability. They're everywhere. You can go into, I went into Walmart today. 6.5 Creedmoor and 308 all over the place. I went into two different stores that sell sporting goods and ammo and stuff like that. One of them is not specifically a gun store, but they had 308, they had 6.5 Creedmoor, they had components for both, they had bullet selection for both, they had reloading stuff for both, they had multiple types of ammo for both, and they had guns for all of it. So practically, they're two of the most available rounds there are on the market today. They both have a huge following. They both have a huge history now. The Creedmoor is less of a history. It's only been around since about 2008. So the history isn't as long as the 308, but I would say it's probably the single most popular off-the-shelf rifle cartridge sold in the US today, and rifle manufactured. So practically wise, if you look at the catalog of any manufacturer of any rifle or barrel maker or anything like that, two of the cartridges you're going to see at the top of the list: 308, 6.5 Creedmoor. Now, assuming all of our hunting distances are inside 300 yards, if you are looking for something on the larger size for big game, say like an elk, something like that, your 308 Winchester with the proper type of bullet has more than enough mass, more than enough speed, more than enough energy to take a bull elk, the biggest one you can think of. It'll take it down if you put the bullet in the right spot. And if you have a rifle setup that you're competent with, and your scope and all those things are set the correct way, and you've got yourself dialed in and you know how to shoot the thing, then you can take anything with a 308. I mean, there's really not any animal I can think of, common big game animals, that you would shoot with anything bigger that you can't kill with a 308. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit on the lighter side, the 6.5 Creedmoor is more than capable of taking large game. And definitely, it's a fantastic medium game round, like your deer, your mule deer, your antelope, your even hogs and stuff like that. Like this 6.5 Creedmoor is a fantastic round for that. And it gives you the advantage of being a longer range round. So whereas the 308's a great bullet, it's got lots of energy, good frontal diameter, all those good things, and it is capable at longer distances. It's been a standard sniper round for a lot of organizations and individuals for a long time now. The 6.5 Creedmoor makes it a little easier, makes it a little more precise, and makes it a little more, I guess you could say, lackadaisical in getting accuracy at long range, because how flat it shoots and how fast it shoots, and just how high the ballistic coefficient is on the 140 grain average bullets that you shoot in a 6.5 Creedmoor. So if longer range is your game, the 6.5 fills that role very nicely. If you're varminting and stuff like that, 6.5 also a great varmint round. Long distance coyote shooting, those kind of things, 6.5 is a no-brainer. Now when you talk about smaller stature shooters or newer shooters, even if they're not going to be hunting, if they just want something to shoot and practice with on the range, both cartridges work fantastic for that, but you may find a little bit more recoil sensitivity in the 308 versus something like a 6.5. Another win for the 6.5 is that it's actually really, really easy to shoot. There's a lot of really high-grade ammunition being manufactured for it in the market today. You can get, if you don't reload and stuff like that, if you can buy 6.5 Creedmoor just about anywhere you can buy ammo, you can find a good, like target load or accurate load for your rifle, even if you have to work your way through a couple boxes or whatever. It's relatively inexpensive. That brings me to the next point. When compared to all the stuff like your 280 Ackley's 300 Win mags and even 30-06 and stuff like that, because I know a lot of people were going to insert here that the 30-06 is the best do-it-all cartridge of all time and all around in all the ways. And I don't disagree with that. The 30-06 is a fantastic cartridge you can do just about everything with. It's going to cost a little bit more to buy, not a whole lot more, but a little bit more. Definitely it's going to put more fatigue into a shooter if they're recoil sensitive or they just don't like magnums, because 30-06 has a little more punch to it. I'm learning quickly what the 30-06 family of cartridges on a rifle platform, especially like this is the 280 Ackley improved in a 9-pound rifle. The form factor of this rifle, just the way that it's set up, it's not like a modern tactical PRS style rig or hunting style rig where it's a little more fine-tuned ergonomically for recoil reduction. So it's kind of that old school aesthetic or whatever when it comes to just the way it's built and put together. And the recoil impulse is a little bit higher. So something like this with the 280 Ackley that I have in it, or 30-06, it's going to kick a little bit more than something like a 6.5 Creedmoor or 308. And that translates to not being as accurate for most people, or as easy to shoot, or is it just enjoyable to shoot. So between the two of them, the 6.5 Creedmoor is definitely the lighter shooter of the two. I would lean more towards the 6.5 Creedmoor for my primary all-around practical bullet cartridge, than anything than 308, but I still kind of have a nostalgic desire to keep the 308 around. I have a few rifles in it. It works really, really great. In the next category I'm going to talk about, rifle types. All right, so practically out there, rifle types matter. There's all manner of custom rigs out there you can build, and you can tweak and tune a rifle to your specific cartridge. Say you're running like a 7PRC and it kicks a little more, and you can tune out a rifle for that. That's great and everything if you want to spend multiple thousands of dollars on that type of rig. But if you're looking for something you can just go to the store and buy a rifle and shoot the rifle, these two make it really hard to beat the 6.5 Creedmoor and 308, because they fill just about every bill and they fit and function in most rifle types pretty flawlessly. The AR-10 specifically, or the semi-automatic style rifles, the 308, it's the bread and butter of that bad boy. It's made for it, it's bred for it. That's what it lives in, thrives in, and does great in. The 6.5 Creedmoor is a little bit more finicky in my experience to get running well in a DMR or an AR-10 type of thing, but it does work, and you can make it work really, really well. It just might be a little bit more finicky when compared to the 308, but it does turn a semi-automatic platform into kind of a long-range rig, because you have a better, higher ballistic coefficient with a better bullet type going forward out of that semi-automatic, so you're going to get a little more range and reach out of it. They work in bolt actions, they work in semi-automatics, they work in break actions, they work in everything, and you can find options on the shelf at the local gun stores, at your Walmart or whatever, in a couple different rifle types in both of these cartridges pretty much everywhere you go. I don't think there's ever been a time that I've walked into a gun store or someplace that sells ammo that I have not seen 308 and, since 2008, 6.5 Creedmoor as both a rifle and an ammo option and offering. In multiple of them, you don't not find it. That's the beauty of it, is it's everywhere. Now I get it, they're not the most juicy cartridges, they're not the most flashy cartridges. Everybody loves to hate on the 6.5 Creedmoor. The 308 is considered the old dog that's, the FUD cartridge that's kind of out the door. You can do anything with them. You can do just about anything with them. They fit every practical application of firearms that you can imagine. There isn't a single practical application of firearms, rifles, hunting, or otherwise, that you cannot apply one of these two rounds for as a completely effective and viable solution for whatever target you're after. Those reasons, among others, kind of sum up why I think the 308 and the 6.5 Creedmoor, either one of them, one or both, are the most practical rounds that most people should own, and the most practical rounds for hunting with. You can hunt just about everything, everywhere with them. You can shoot in just about every scenario, everywhere with them. And you can shoot in just about every type of rifle, everywhere with them. And you can find ammo just about everywhere for both of them. All right, what do y'all think? Get in the comments below. Thank you for joining me again today. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, all those good things. Y'all know how the internet works. Appreciate you coming by and watching the video today. Don't forget to keep your knives sharp, keep your powder dry, and keep your magazines loaded. Y'all be blessed.